Welcome to New Life Live with Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's today's host, Chris Williams.
Welcome to New Life Live. We are so glad that you're with us, and I'm glad that I get to share time and space and this show with licensed psychologist Dr. Alice Benton.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing?
Well, I got my pen ready because I always learn from you when I'm on with
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yeah. Well, and that's it's one of the great benefits of being on the show and being a host is the wisdom that I gain from everyone else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we have licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris.
Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody.
How's it going today?
It's going well.
Good. Hey, I want to mention something. We have this incredible program at New Life Live, or at New Life, New Life Live, called Club New Life. And the amount of benefits that come from this, you obviously stay ahead of the game on the updates on what we have going on, our offerings. You get an incredible video library of different people talking about critical life issues and the wisdom and resources that we get from that, from that video library. You get a monthly collective from New Life Live. You get priority calling when you call in, and you get discounts on our workshops, especially our in-person workshops. So there's so many things. And so if you want to become a Club New Life member, check that out, www.newlife.com, and we would love to have you. What I would love to hear right now is, Jacqui, what's on your mind?
Perfectionism.
Okay, talk to us.
I've been studying Romans, and I'm looking at there's some things that frustrate me about church, and so I've been looking at the man in the mirror and trying to explore where those frustrations are coming from. And so it was interesting reading Romans and seeing all of the immoral things that people do that God is not for. Mm-hmm. And then all of the things that seem a little more righteous, but it's really attitude, that self-righteousness that still traps us. And so in this effort to be this perfect Christian, to be this perfect wife, perfect employer, employee, we sometimes, or I'll speak for myself, I sometimes judge others' lack. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm working really hard to do this. I'm giving my all. Where are you? Why aren't you showing up? Why aren't you giving your all? And why are you judging this way? Or it's hard for me to hear people judge people's lives because I'm looking at them going, really? Huh? So God just pointed it right back at me. And as I think about the prodigal sons, there's this one that wants to go out and live wildly and give me mine now, and this other one that stays home and is waiting patiently and doing what the perfect son would do. Their attitude is still just as displeasing to God as the behavior of the younger brother. And so God was just reminding me that yes, I love him and I serve him, and I am diligent in trying to keep my focus on what God wants. Mm-hmm. I am still a human being. Absolutely. And Jesus still went to the cross for me. I love that. And perfection, it's just not a goal for me. The goal is actually to just love Jesus and to let that show in the way I live my life.
That's really, really good. Jacqui, what it reminds me of is that perfectionism is a great way to avoid grace and hard work of growth.
Yes.
And we all benefit from giving each other that benefit of the doubt, because most of the time we are doing the best we can with what we have. But we need truth and critical feedback as well to be able to grow into better than we have been.
Absolutely. Such a good reminder. And we would love for you to join us today. So please call in. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. And also, we are going to do our best to execute and administer God's grace as a way forward. We'll be right back right after this.
Our marriage was just so toxic and just so many simple interactions that turned into conflict. And so we signed up to participate in the workshop.
New Life's Intimacy and Marriage Weekend examines the various types of intimacy, spiritual, emotional, and physical, as well as the challenges of experiencing true intimacy.
The tools that we received from the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop were tremendous. It was so much that we were able to take and utilize and actually come back and apply.
Don't settle for a miserable marriage or even one that's just okay. It's possible to have that great marriage you've always wanted. The next Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is July 26th through the 28th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
Best decision we could have ever made. There's no price that we can put on having healthy marriages.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Thank you so much for being with us today. And listen, guys, let's just jump onto the board. Let's get some calls in here. We're going to go to Cheryl, listening in Washington, D.C. on WAVA, one of our great partner stations. Cheryl, are you there?
I sure am.
All right, talk to us. What's going on today?
Well, thank you for taking my call. I need your advice. I need to know what to say to my elderly dad when he is verbally abusive or falsely accusing my sister, my mom, and me. How do we counter what he says in a calm, compassionate way?
Oh, that's great. That's a great question.
And Cheryl, when you've tried to point it out to him before, how have you gone about it, and how does he react?
So I think what happened, well, it's been lately. 2 months ago, my 90-year-old dad was in a ranching accident, and he was unconscious for 2 hours with 3 cracked ribs, collapsed lungs, and a broken pelvic ring. And since that accident, he has not been acting his normal self. My mom, sister, and I think he might have the beginning of dementia.
Yeah.
He's always been a controlling person, and now he is just slowly losing control of his body and his mind and his independence, and he can't handle it, so he takes it out on us. And it's usually revolving around us giving him advice, like, well, Dad, don't drive the major highway out to the ranch, have your son-in-law drive you. And then his reaction will be just, I resent that accusation that I am not capable of driving and, stuff like that. And usually what I say to him is, look, we love you, we care about you, and we're just trying to help you. And that tends to calm him down, but maybe there's other stuff I can say. I'm at a loss.
Cheryl, some of the principles that tend to have the most success in situations like this are to kindly, gently let your dad know that you're seeing this behavior in him, especially if some of the worst of it is new and since the accident. So you address it at a time that it is not taking place. Dad, I love you so much, and because of that, I need to point out you've been doing some hurtful things lately. And you may not even be aware of it, but this is the way you've been talking to us, and here's a specific example from just the other day. Dad, can you hear that from me? If he's receptive to it, when you bring it up in that manner, it may be that just pointing it out helps. If that doesn't help and he's argumentative and he goes into the false accusation, then you let him know, Dad, when you treat us like this is what I'm going to be doing. And that usually, Cheryl, has to do with, I got to distance myself for a little while. I'm going to have to step out of the room. I'm going to have to not talk for a little while, and I'll come back again. But I don't want to be treated like this. So this is how I'm going to protect myself. How would it be to say something like that to your dad?
It would be, kind of different. I'd have to probably practice or something.
Cheryl, has your dad always been tough to communicate with? You said that he's always been controlling.
Yes, he's always been controlling, and he's right,
And so you guys don't usually talk back. Usually he says...
Really. Yeah. It's usually not a give and take where, let's talk about this.
It's usually he says it and that's it.
Yeah.
So he's not only losing control physically, but also emotionally and mentally, and his worldview is changing. And if he is starting to have some dementia that is a result of the injury or the accident, or maybe the accident was caused because he's starting to have some dementia, that's scary. There are moments when the world makes sense, and then he flips and he's sitting at the dinner table. Right,
yeah,
and so
he has moments of clarity, and then he has these moments where he's just angry at the world.
Well, he's angry because he's afraid. It's very scary to wake up in the shower. Right? You don't, he's missing part of his day. I'm going to encourage you to connect with the Department of Aging and Community Living in DC. The Office on Aging can give you resources. You, your sister, and your mom can get some training on how to deal with the early dementia and some support for yourselves. Getting into a support group with other children of people with dementia, others who are caring for their elderly parents, can give you some other options and just some support, because you're doing the things, you're having the conversation, you're letting him know the why, and it does soothe him and calm him down, but it's still hard to have to take those verbal punches to begin with. But this isn't just because of the dementia. He's always been tough.
Yeah. All right, so Cheryl, I'm going to give you 3 things here, okay?
Yeah.
Number 1, compassion, right?
Yes.
What Jacqui was saying, this is a man who is losing the things that he really held on to. And if he's losing control, like I said, it gets scary, it gets frustrating, and he's taking that out on the people closest to him.
Yep.
The second thing is grieve.
Yep.
You're in the process. You're losing your dad, and that's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, going off of what Alice was saying, is that, yes, we have these conversations that do require boundaries. And kind of the way I like to talk about it is Shark Tank moments. Sharks on the Shark Tank tell you what they are not going to be a part of, but they tell you the reason why. Right. So when you hear him say, hey, for this reason I'm out, and maybe you're not out, but you just say, hey, for these reasons I can't have this conversation because you're saying this to me and it's really hard. And just letting him know. And maybe it's most importantly to let yourself know what you're willing to put up with and not put up with. And also just kind of knowing, as you get this resource and the support, that the person who is experiencing dementia that really is losing their faculties is not themselves, and that's why the grief part of it is so important.
Cheryl, you said earlier, that would take practice. Sister, you are spot on, and I want you to know that growing out of my people-pleasing, conflict-avoiding to tell authority figures, I don't like how you're treating me, it has taken me a whole lot of practice, and I've needed real supportive, understanding people around me to be able to grow into it. And girl, if I can, because I'm a nervous Nelly on the inside, you can too. But it does take practice.
That's really good.
Have a family meeting after you practice. Have a family meeting where you, your mom, your sister, and your dad sit down and talk about the reality of what's going on right now. Talk about the injury the accident that happened at the ranch. Talk about the fear about driving, and ask him for his input on ways to keep him safe. I have already, because I did elder care for so long, I've already given my children permission to take my keys at their first sign of worry, because when they begin to be worried about my driving, I'm likely to not understand that I'm not driving safely. And so we talk about it. Now, I'm expecting that to not be until I'm like 100. But we've talked about it because I was in nursing. I've talked with my mom and my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad had some issues back in his 40s, and we took his driver's license, and he has not been able to drive since. And he didn't like it, but he came down with the seizure disorder that we didn't understand. And at the time, we thought it was early onset dementia. And so that was the first conversation I had with him and his neurologist, should he continue to drive. And so I would also involve his medical team.
So, Cheryl, I hope that gives you really great direction and movement to go from here. We're going to send you a copy of the Grief Recovery Workbook as part of the Emotional Freedom package that we have. And so we're going to send you a copy of that to help you work through, especially this grief component of it. We're going to pray for you and your family as they really navigate these really challenging and difficult times. So thanks you so much again for calling in. And we're going to go now to Jerry, listening in Fort Worth, Texas. Jerry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, tell us what's going on in Fort Worth today.
Oh, it's a blessing to have to wait on you. I have an elderly son that his wife is very demanding, very authoritative.
His wife?
And his wife.
Uh-huh.
And she's always executed the idea that she really doesn't love him, but he worked and made very fine money, so she accepted him. But nevertheless, the situation has come to where she convinced him that he has dementia, and he doesn't remember very well because it just happened all of a sudden, and she has carried him to the doctor, but he recalls certain things. We can have a conversation.
Jerry, how old is your son?
About 49 years old.
49 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
And he just yields to his wife's demands. Anyway,
and how long have they been married?
About 39, 40 years.
Okay. All right. So he's made it somehow work in the midst of her authoritarian demands. He's made it work for 39 years?
Yes. He just accepts what she says and does.
How old is he again?
That's a good question, because what I'm saying doesn't equate. If he's 49, he's 49, or either he's 50 or one, he's one or the other. Okay. But that's not my problem. My problem is trying to get a solution for the fact that we've gotten along with his wife, and she doesn't really like his family, but she's gotten to the point where now she's demanding us not to do certain things with him, pick him up, and that's our out, because we are a loving family in the name of Jesus, and we just need a solution for that. We can't handle that very well at all.
Yeah.
So you're going to keep us away from him.
So the question for us is, how do we approach our daughter-in-law when she's trying to keep us out of our son's life?
Yes.
Okay. Jacqui, Jacqui, what do you think?
Well, so many questions. I would say you're going to have to just have a conversation with her, but in curiosity. So when you hear her set some restrictions and boundaries, I imagine you push back. I imagine you might feel defensive about that. As you said, you guys, love Jesus and are a very loving family. So even just hearing her say that might shut you down. I would stay in the conversation.
No way she can shut me down.
Oh, okay, good. But can you hear her? Can you listen to her concerns and work with her to come up with a plan? She's fearful maybe about having him be out and about and not be getting the right kind of care, because she's at home with him more often than everybody else can see, and so she has some concerns. You said you don't believe that he has dementia, but there's something going on where he's not able to remember things well, and that sounds like that's new. And so whatever the change is that's happening in him, his wife is going to have more insight too, because she's probably the one, connecting with doctors and such. And so just stay curious with her and let your concern be known, but find a place and a time to meet with him that she finds acceptable if she's having to be more of a caregiver for him right now.
She is, and each weekend, every Saturday, I go to pick him up at church. I don't have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. She doesn't bother me. But it's when we have the opportunity to pick him up or carry him someplace, I have him to do something. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
We can handle that.
So maybe consider planning ahead, having some conversations about, what we're going to do towards the next 6 months, and so she can have it on her calendar and be prepared.
So, Jerry, you hear the music, and so we're going to go to a break here soon. But really, want you to be able to hear that, to have a collaborative, cooperative conversation in that spirit to come up with a common solution. A lot of C words there.
Quite a few.
Yeah. So, but with that, we'll give you a couple directives when we get back from the break here. We're so glad that you called us. We're so glad that you are with us. And again, we're going to be here for another half hour or so. So we'd love to talk to you, and we'll be back right after this.
When you give to the New Life Scholarship Fund, you're giving someone hope for a brighter future.
I was kind of in the closet and hit with my struggle. Your donation really made the difference, especially in my situation, because I would have getting laid off from my job.
At the New Life Intensives, hurting people are able to begin a new path towards healing and freedom that has an effect on all of those around them.
I think the people who support New Life financially are people that I'll never know. I'll never be able to thank them personally for the gift that they gave to us. Their giving saved me, my husband, and our family from being torn apart.
To help hurting people to connect to the help they need, make your gift to the Scholarship Fund at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and specifying scholarships.
Someone called and sponsored me to come this weekend. Whoever that is, just know that you saved a life. Literally, you saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found life recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We're talking with Jerry. She's in Fort Worth. She's really just dealing with this tough situation with her daughter-in-law and son, and wanting to take care of and have this relationship. So, Alice, where do we take Jerry from here?
Well, Jerry, you have reasons not to trust your daughter-in-law, and you're suspicious about the limits that she is setting up. And I think you two probably both have strong personalities. You said, she's not going to shut me down. So when you get gently curious with her about why she's limiting the amount that you pick your son up, I ask you to give her the benefit of the doubt, even though you have reason to be concerned. But in order to truly receive her answer, you've got to be asking in a way that really draws information from her versus attacking her from the start that she's already making the wrong decision. Set that assumption to the side to request an explanation from her. But if you have so much reason, or in addition to that, so much reason to believe she's manipulating the situation, you could talk to his doctor, let his doctor know your concerns, that you don't really believe that he has dementia, because the doctor would have an inside route to be able to reassess the safety of your son and take action if necessary.
Yeah. That's really, really good, Alice. Jerry, we're going to send you a copy of Jim Burns' book, Doing Life with Our Adult Children, because it's different. And it's really, really important. And we just thank you so much for calling in today. And thank you for the love that you have for your son and also your daughter-in-law. And, man, adult relationships are tough. Relationships are tough.
Complicated.
Yeah. With that, we're going to go to Chrissy listening in Simla, Colorado. Did I get that right? So, Chrissy, are you there? Simla.
I am. Hello.
I'm from Colorado. I've never heard of Simla.
Really? So it's Eastern. You go like Colorado Springs, Peyton, Calhoun, Rama, Simla.
Got it. You're out there.
Yeah.
I love it. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. So tell us what's going on with you and your life and how we can help.
So I lost my dad and my sister and my youngest daughter just about 3 years ago. And my husband's become not the nicest person in the world since all of that has happened. And I keep going back to him. I mean, I tried moving out of state, everything, and we just end up back together. And I just can't get out of this cycle, and it's extremely difficult.
Hold on. So we just blew right past through a huge, huge part of your story. You lost who?
My dad, my sister, and my youngest daughter.
How?
My youngest was kidnapped, and then my father passed away, and then my sister passed away 5 months after he did. He passed away of cancer. She died of cirrhosis of the liver that she didn't tell anybody about because my dad was sick, so she didn't want to,
And your daughter was kidnapped?
Yes.
Was she recovered?
No.
Okay.
She's still missing. Your daughter is.
Yes. It was like 3 years ago out of Idaho. Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, Chrissy, I need you to take a deep breath because I need to take a deep breath.
Yes.
This is, you're deep, 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 deep in trauma.
And so is he.
And so is your husband, right?
Was it his daughter?
No.
Okay.
Nope, it wasn't. Oh my gosh, it's just been a nightmare, really. And I just can't get out of the cycle that I'm in with him, and we're miserable, but I don't even know what to do. I really just don't.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But you're calling today because you're in an unhealthy or maybe even abusive relationship with your husband. How would you describe your relationship with your husband?
Oh, all of the above. It's everything. It's infidelity, mental, physical. To me, it's just like kind of, it's torturous. It's just like, it's very difficult. We live very rural, so I don't have, a vehicle, and, I try riding my horse places, that kind of thing. Does he try to isolate you from other people? Oh, yes, he does. But then he makes it so bad that I have to leave, and then he pushes me out, so I have to go stay with a friend, but then he comes and pokes around to the point where my friends can't handle it, so I have to leave again.
So have you heard the term narcissistic?
Oh, he definitely is, yes.
Okay, hold on.
Absolutely.
That was a setup. You're not dealing with a narcissist. You're dealing with a sociopath.
I had questioned that, actually, to be honest with you.
Okay. Now, that's a harsh label that I'm putting on there. And I'm not doing it as a diagnosis. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm doing it for clarification in your mind on the severity of the situation that you're in.
I know.
Right? You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So I'm going to ask one more question.
Okay.
And then we're going to head to a break, but we're going to come back and we're going to really, really tackle this because I got a lot of wisdom in this room that I believe that can help you. Who in your life do you have as resources? Who are the relationships that you can count on right now?
Oh my goodness. My ex-fiance, where I keep my horse. Mm-hmm. However, it's a sticky situation because my ex-fiance is my husband's dad's longtime friend from like high school.
Of course, yep.
Yeah, so it's a touchy situation.
But is there anyone else? Is there anyone else in your life?
No, that is it. I have absolutely no friends. I have absolutely nothing else.
Okay, all
nothing.
Right. That
God, I have God.
Yes, well, you do have God, and that is definitely something very significant.
Yes.
Well, Chrissy, we're going to, again, head to a break and come right back right after this, because we really, really want to help you. We want to help you tackle this and really get the next step to safety so you can be on your journey to health and rebuilding the life that God has for you in front of you. So hold on. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because, you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. I am so glad that you're with us. And I do want to mention this. This is really important. August 10th is the last time in 2024 that we're going to have Every Man's Battle Intensive online. And so to experience this incredibly powerful intensive and workshop that we have, Every Man's Battle, to gain freedom from sexual acting out, it's really, really important. So go to newlife.com. You can register today if you want to talk to someone about it, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Right now, we are talking with Chrissy in Simla, Colorado, and my goodness, this is a really, really, really tragic and difficult, complicated situation that she is in. And so, Alice, where do we go from here?
Chrissy, you know that you are drawn to your abuser because being with someone, when you've lost as many people in the ways you have, it does feel better to some extent than being alone. And he may be your provider. Maybe he's the roof over your head. He might be putting food on the table. And so you are deeply attached to the person that continues to abuse you. Is it accurate to put it that way?
Yes, absolutely. Kind of like a trauma bond, sort of.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes. So there are a couple of things you need. You probably know this already, but as you hear them from me again, I want you to decide, what do you have the capacity to pursue first? Because when our abuser is our world, we need to fill our world with some safe people. And we usually have to start pretty small because people aren't safe when you've gone through what you have been through. And so these are the three ways that I know you need other people in your life. One is by calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline, because it gives you on-the-ground resources somewhere close by where you can at least ride a horse to, and that may be the way you literally have to get there. But a National Domestic Violence Hotline, you need a shelter, a domestic violence shelter, because if this man is providing all these things for you and you're homeless without him, you're going to need a different roof over your head. But the third thing is you need a sisterhood of women that you don't currently have in your life. One way to get that is through Codependence Anonymous, because that's when we're in an addictive relationship with someone who is abusive, mistreating us, perhaps in their own addictive behavior, and it's free, and you might need free right now. And these meetings can be attended over the phone. They can be attended by Zoom. So you need all three of these things. Which one do you feel a little bit of capacity to pursue?
The shelter, and then the code, all of them really. I mean, I'm open for anything and everything at this point. I'm 40 years old. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of it.
Chrissy, you got a lot of strength, because most people would say, I can't do any of that. So you're ready, and I know you've left before, and it's leaving in the right way this time and staying away long enough, which was going to be real long term if you ever go back, because you're filling your life in with better people who can really teach you what being loved and being in a relationship is like.
And you're going to have to get out of your community. So you're going to have to maybe go to the next larger city, because it's a very small population where you live, so those resources might not be available. But the further away from your abuser that you get, the easier it will be for you to not return.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
And I just like that when I do leave, it's that hump that like I get to a certain point and I just I can't do it. I feel I can do it, but at the time I feel like I can't, so I end up falling back.
Yeah.
Like
so
you
have so much insight and awareness, so much intelligence to you, Chrissy. But what you're also dealing with would be like an addiction.
It is.
Yes, and oftentimes in withdrawal, at the highest pain point of withdrawal, which typically is 3 months in.
That's about right. Wow.
Okay.
That's exactly about what.
Okay, so we got it. Is when it's most tempting to go back. That's when a person needs the most support in their recovery. Okay, so you're not looking at a 90-day process. You're looking at a 180-day process.
Okay.
All right. Now, again, I want you to look today, right? Figure out what are the resources in Colorado Springs, what are the resources in Denver. We know that those are great cities. There's tons of Christian resources in Colorado Springs. And so, and then all you got to do is get there, get a ride there, whatever it takes. But whatever it takes.
Okay, I can do that. I can get a ride. For that.
Please.
I'm definitely ready. So.
Please keep us updated. You can even call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have a call center there that can also help guide resources if you need it. Okay, so because we want to make sure, we want to follow you, and we make sure that you get safe, that you get on your feet.
Okay.
All right.
I will definitely utilize these resources, you guys. Thank you so much.
And here's what I'm going to do, okay? On October, it's not for a few months, but on October 5th, we have this Life Recovery online conference.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a free registration to that right now.
Okay.
So, yes, we will address relationships and codependency and trauma and even trauma bonding there. And so, yeah. Well, we're going to get you hooked up with that, and again, whatever resources
I will have an amazing testimony for you in October.
We can't wait to hear it. We can't wait to hear it. We can't wait to hear it. Well, Chrissy, thank you so much for calling in. We are cheering you on. We want to support you on as best we can. So get safe, get healthy, and I know that God does have a redemptive story for you because you're already leaning and living into it. So thank you so much. Next, we're going to go to Andrea, listening in Chicago, Illinois on WPEO. Andrea, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. What's going on today?
Yes, I just ended a relationship that lasted about a month, and it seems as if every time my friend hugs on a woman or talks to her for an extended period of time, I have this tremendous crippling pain in my heart, and I just don't know what to do. I don't know what's causing it, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Let me see if I can connect some dots. Is this friend the person that you dated?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're saying when you're dating someone and they hug another woman or talk to another woman, you feel pain in your heart.
Yes.
Andrea, have you experienced infidelity, even if it was back in your family of origin?
Oh, absolutely. I was engaged to a theology major, and he cheated on me.
Yeah.
There you go. Your nervous system remembers that pain of that infidelity. And so you see the man you're with talking to another woman, and it takes you back to that pain.
Okay.
How do you react when that happens? Do you get angry with him?
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
Do you feel like maybe you accuse the person you're dating out of fear of them doing to you what your ex did?
Well, I feel disrespected, and I feel as if it's inappropriate.
Do you feel like they're...
Because we were sitting...
Do you feel like...
We were sitting at a table.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, just this weekend, we were sitting at a table and eating together, and this woman came up to him and took him away from me. And he just got up and left. And he was talking to her for like at least 15 to 20 minutes. He didn't even say, "Excuse me, I'll be right back," nothing. So apparently this woman had more authority on his life than I did.
Well, you said apparently. Did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, I did.
What did he say?
He thinks I'm insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you disagree?
I'm very confident in myself and who I am.
So you're a confident woman, but you maybe have an insecure attachment. Are you familiar with the word attachment?
No, I'm not.
So
in a relationship, I tend to feel insecure when a guy is.
So we learn how to be in relationship in our infancy, short version, and we have avoidant attachment, we have secure attachment, we have anxious attachment. You sound anxiously attached, which means that you require a lot of attention and reassurance in your relationships, and that can be challenging.
Okay, and you're carrying pain. Right?
Okay.
That your body is telling you that.
And what he did, I think, was disrespectful. I don't think that took your feelings into consideration. So what we want to help you do is, what do you do with both the pain, the heightened sensitivity you have, and when people are disrespectful, what do you do with it? We can help you with that.
That's really good. So, Andrea, we're going to head to a break here, and we greatly appreciate you calling in because we know you're not the only one struggling with this. And as an insecure attacher myself, that can get really anxious and who has experienced relational pain. How do we navigate and work through that? We're going to come back and we're going to guide you right through this. And so hold on. We'll be right back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Daniel Grossman on coaching.
Coaches are really focused on the future and helping people to develop those skills and those strategies to help them move forward in their life. A coach really partners with you to focus on things like personal growth or health goals, spiritual growth, helping you develop in your career, or possibly strengthening your relationships, or maybe even breaking free from a negative pattern.
If you need a coach for life, your career, relationships, your health and fitness, leadership, and more, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been screened and certified with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
Coaches use different techniques. Some like to use strategic questions and accountability, ultimately empowering you to take those next steps towards your goals.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and talk to us about getting a New Life coach today.
I really believe that everyone can use a coach in their corner.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live, and we're talking to Andrea in Chicago, Illinois, who has experienced the pain of betrayal, of infidelity, but also is carrying around some insecurity and some frustration. So, Alice, where does Andrea go from here?
Well, Andrea, I have great empathy for you because there was infidelity in my family of origin, and I was hyper aware of any possible sign of infidelity, but I would add signs that weren't even there. When my husband, who was innocent, trustworthy guy, would just go to play music with a buddy, with a male friend in an apartment alone, I would be afraid some sexy woman is going to show up there. Well, it didn't make sense given the evidence. Sometimes I'm right with my highly sensitive radar, sometimes I'm wrong. And what you and I need to learn to do is to differentiate between what history is telling me and what the present signs are telling me. So you may have been right with that guy, that walking away from you like that for that long and then blaming you for how you felt, he might have been off. So that radar may have been good. And what will help you continue to refine and retune your radar is to process what you went through with your theology major fiance being unfaithful to you, because there's probably still more of the pain to process by telling the stories, probably to a counselor who can help you work through the wounds he left. Then in your new relationships, I want you to start making gentle admissions in advance that this is something that you've been dealing with and that you have some fear around it. And when we're fearful, Andrea, we need reassurance. So my husband and I have set up an agreement that I've got to admit to him when I'm getting triggered and I'm afraid, and I need reassurances of his fidelity while also seeing it in his behavior. So we're identifying the need and we're making it known to our partner.
And what we're going to send you, Andrea, is a copy of How We Love, because what that does is teaches us how we connect to ourselves and how we connect to other people, and shows us too what is safe and healthy and what is unsafe and unhealthy. So
that you can be secure instead of insecure in your relationships.
Absolutely. So, Andrea, thank you so much for calling in. We're going to go to one last call today. We're going to go to Lee, listening in Los Angeles, California on KKLA. Lee, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, can you do me a favor and turn down the radio in the background?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good. Happens all the time. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, talk to us. What's going on?
Okay, I have a problem with, I have two granddaughters that I want to talk to you about today. The 19-year-old, she'll soon be 19, is quite afraid of her father.
Uh-huh.
And he's taking her from my house about a week ago because I called him a pedophile.
Is there evidence for that?
Oh, well, yes.
Okay, so Lee, hold on here, because I gotta put something in our conversation. We only have a couple minutes left on the show, so it's got to be as quick as humanly possible. So we've already dropped a bomb that we got to address. So, So your 19-year-old granddaughter is with a dangerous father.
Yes, he is. And
okay.
He's not been. It's been going on apparently for about 40 years with my oldest granddaughter.
How many years?
About 40 years. I just found out about it.
Okay, has the authorities been called? Have the police been called?
No, apparently the authorities were called at the time, but somehow it got written off.
Okay.
And he's not been accused of anything since that. But he's been a horrible father. He's my son. I love him very much, but I cannot have him take my granddaughter and hold her up in an apartment in one room.
And Lee, how would it be for you, his mother, who loves him, to call the police again?
That's what I need to do. That's what I'll do.
Girl, that's what you need to do.
If your granddaughter is unsafe and being held captive, that's what you need to do. Are there? You said there were 2 granddaughters. Is there one? Are there anybody under 18?
Well, the thing is, the 40-year-old, she just confessed to me when she lived with him, and that was a good, for about 15 years. He would beat her. He would have her undress, and he would beat her. And I needed. She finally got free of that by writing a letter to her girlfriend, and the girlfriend took her to a counselor, and the counselor called her grandmother, and her grandmother came and got her, and that was the end of that as far as that's when the authorities were called. But he's keeping my youngest. He's just keeping her.
Where's her
in
mother?
Room.
Where's her mother?
Her mother died at 4.
Oh man. Okay.
Lee, not only do the police need to be called, but you need support, because this is devastating for you to have to do. It seems like it's against your son. That's what it feels like. But you know it is for him and for your granddaughters for this to be stopped and for him to be forced away from them so that he gets help, because he's sick. What he's doing is sick to them, and he needs to be kept from them and from other victims. But you also need help and support, because this is going to be so hard for you to make that call. Would you let us connect you with a counselor?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Well,
yes.
And Lee, to echo what Alice is saying, thank God you are the grandmother. And thank God you're the mother, because this has got to be heart-wrenching for you.
Yes.
And really, really confusing at the same time, I can only imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, so having that support gives you both clarity and courage.
Okay, because we were thought about an intervention with the family.
Yes.
But that intervention, he's not going to come to my house. He may come to my son's house. But even so, he still needs to be taken away from this granddaughter.
Well, and she's
threatening suicide. It's a mess.
So there's your call to the police for a wellness check. You reported to them that she's in an abusive situation, being held captive against her will, and that she is also suicidal because of it.
Okay.
So, yes, and so in that, also understand this. This may not be a one-time call or a one-time deal. This is an ongoing process that could take a while.
Okay.
And so you want the law on your side.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's also why you need a counselor to, again, give that courage and resiliency to keep pursuing the right steps over a long period of time.
Okay.
So,
all right. So you want me to call the police at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell them what I know.
Yep. Tell them exactly what you know and what's going on. And as Jacqui said, a wellness check on a 19.
Wellness check.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is, on this 19-year-old who's suicidal, who's being held against her will.
Okay.
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 Now, if there's other knowledge of children being abused, children under 18 being abused, that also is information that needs to be disclosed.
Okay.
Okay.
All
so,
right.
So Lee, thank you for holding on. Thank you for calling in, because this is a critically important step, and I just can't imagine, guys. It's like sometimes we have to make the most hardest decisions for the sake of what is right and good for the most vulnerable among us.
And when our children are perpetrating evil and will not or cannot stop, then we need to get that intervention in that will put a stop to their behavior.
Yeah.
And then he can be helped.
Absolutely. We're going to send Lee a copy of Take Your Life Back. and knowing that that will also help guide her into, again, taking control of herself. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are very, very glad that you are a part of our show, a part of our lives, and we wish you a very, very blessed weekend and enjoyable weekend. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.